Karen, the ever-meddling president of the HOA, had always had a strange obsession with my property, even though my ranch sat well outside her jurisdiction. She'd constantly complain about my tractor noises, the smell of livestock, or the fact that I didn't manicure my driveway like the suburban streets below. But nothing topped what happened last month. I had just returned from a farmer's market when I noticed the barn doors wide open and several burlap sacks missing. Security camera footage told the full story. Karen and two HOA board members had driven up in a golf cart, marched into my barn with gloves and bags, and loaded up several stacks of what they clearly believed was illegally hoarded grain. The best part? They didn't even try to hide it. They looked excited, like they'd just uncovered a scandal. What they had actually taken was my carefully dried cow dung, organic fertilizer I've used for years on my back pasture and occasionally sold to local nurseries. It was sun-dried, odorless, and stored in large sacks labeled DC compost. I laughed so hard I nearly cried. But what came next was even better. Karen posted photos of the evidence online, accusing me of violating agricultural hoarding regulations and withholding essential wheat during a supply crisis. Her post went viral in the local community group for all the wrong reasons. Dozens of people commented, pointing out that those weren't wheat bags at all, but rather dried manure. One even zoomed in on the bag tag that clearly read dung compost, not for consumption. The comments turned brutal, memes, jokes, and even someone offering Karen a spoon and napkin. Still, she doubled down and called the county agricultural office. When the inspector arrived and took one sniff of the barn, he burst out laughing. "This isn't wheat," he said, still chuckling. "This is processed manure. Good stuff, but not exactly edible." Embarrassed and cornered, Karen tried to pivot and say she was doing a routine HOA soil check. Unfortunately for her, trespassing and theft don't fall under HOA duties. I filed a report, and while I didn't push for serious charges, she was slapped with a hefty fine and ordered to pay for the damaged barn lock and the sacks she tore open. To top it off, I mailed her a complimentary bag of my premium compost with a tag that read, "For Karen's garden and her ego." Since then, Karen stayed far away from my ranch, and every time I fertilize my fields, I smile knowing she once thought my cow dung was gold.